In today's video, I'm going to be telling you how you can pick the perfect career mode save every single time you're interested in starting a new game. We're going to be going through a couple of different steps you can follow to find the exact right team in the exact right league with the exact right players, and hopefully it'll help you have more fun and enjoy career mode a lot more. So let's start off with the first step, and that is you need to decide on what kind of save you would be interested in doing. There are a couple of different ways you can play career mode. I'm sure you know you can start out as someone like a championship contender who would be instantly fighting for the title in season 1. So this is usually the best teams in the league and usually full of all the best players. Think of people like PSG, Bayern Munich, Man City. These are the levels of teams in the big leagues that you're probably going to want if you want to be a championship contender. If you're interested in a slightly harder save, why not look at something like a historic team? They might have been a contender 20 years ago, and they've usually got a lot of fans or a big stadium, but usually quite average players that you'll need to rebuild. This is more of a middle of the road save where you're maybe 3 or 4 signings away from being in the championship contenders, but you're going to have to put that effort in yourself to find the right players for your squad. And then the next level of team is the road to glory teams. So I always suggest these in the league guides at the end. The road to glory teams are longer saves where you have to basically rebuild the entire infrastructure of the club. You'll have to set up a new youth academy, you'll have to rebuild the entire first team squad, and you'll have to make sure that results improve on the pitch. These are usually newly promoted teams or teams that were struggling with financial issues towards the end of the last game. So when you've decided if you're interested in playing as a good team, an old but famous team, or a bad team, you're gonna have to then decide where you'd like to play. This is usually where you'll decide the end goal of your total save. So maybe you want to start out in Europe. You've got a fully licensed cup competition, so the Champions League, Europa League and the Conference League. You've got lots of different leagues for you to choose from as well. So you've got leagues like Poland, Norway, Sweden, England, Germany, France. You've got all levels of leagues. No matter what you're interested in playing, Europe's probably the best place for you to go. But if you're not interested in Europe, you've also got North America, which unfortunately only has a single league now that Mexico's been removed from the game, and you've also not got any Continental Cup competitions. South America as well doesn't have too many leagues now, I believe it's just Argentina, but it does have licensed cup competitions with teams from other nations in that competition. So even if Argentina is the only team on the game, your Continental Cup will still have teams from Chile, Colombia, Peru. Every South American team that should be in there is in there. And you've also got Asia, which has an unlicensed continental competition from Season 2 onwards, and a couple of leagues, including the Indian League, Korean League, the Chinese League, and the Australian League for you to pick from. Usually this is the more road to glory area of the entire world, but you know, if you're interested in that kind of thing and building up an entire club and an entire continent at the same time, then maybe starting out in Asia is where you want to go. So let's run through these first 2 steps quickly with some examples so you know exactly what you're looking at and what you need to do. So I'm going to decide on what kind of save I'd be interested in doing. Maybe I want to use a historic team that's not really got the best squad, and I'd like to play in Europe in a pretty good league. So I'm from England, I know the English leagues pretty well, and I know someone like Leeds United would be a really good save in this kind of idea. I think someone like Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, there's so many of these historic teams that don't have the best squads anymore, but they've got good stadiums and a lot of average players. These are the kind of saves I would be looking at. If I was interested in something else, maybe a road to glory starting in Asia and then moving to Europe, then I would pick one of the newly promoted Korean teams, for example. I know there is a Korean army team that can only sign Korean players on loans, and that would be a super fun save. And if that's what I was interested in, if I wanted to do that Asian road to glory, that would be the perfect save for me. Now let's have a quick research of some leagues that I don't know too well. For example, let's say I want to do a historic team in Argentina. Well, having a look on Wikipedia makes Estudiantes seem to be the obvious choice here. They've got 4 Copa Libertadores in 68, 69, 70 and 2009. So they do have some recent history as well as some really good history in the 70s and 60s. One final example would be if I wanted to play in North America with a championship contender squad. Let's have a look who the best team in the MLS is, and it's going to be one of the 2 New York teams. I think they're both very even and they're both very good, and of course both very cool locations being in New York City. So that would be a general idea of how I could choose the perfect career mode save. Hopefully this helps you guys out as well. I know FIFA 23 is still a pretty new game as of me recording this video, so hopefully you really enjoy it, and hopefully this helps you have more fun on career mode. If you've got any teams that you really like using on career mode, leave them in the comments below, and hopefully you like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you and goodbye.